Let's talk about feminism as a concept. Let's look at it in its entirety, down to its very essence. First of all, think about all the words that have ism attached to them. Can you think of some? Racism, chauvinism, masochism. When we talk about such concepts, what we're doing is that we are elevating the concept of the word that the ism is attached to. So, for example, racism, we are elevating the concept of race. That means we're talking about the superiority of race. When we talk about chauvinism, what we're doing is that we're elevating the concept of men above women. When we talk about masochism, we're elevating the concept of pain above pleasure, and so on and so forth. So feminism, in its very essence, at its very core, talks about elevating the concept of the feminine. So it's about the superiority of the female. And if you go back and look at the history of feminism, that is exactly how it started. Yes, it started from a good place because women were being suppressed and abused and all that. But then the motivation for it was to elevate the female gender. And so that's what feminism is at its very core. I prefer to talk about a concept called womanhood as against manhood. There are only two genders in the world. There's the male and there's the female. There's the man and there's the woman. And believe me, none can survive without the other. There's no doubt there's a female struggle that has been going on for centuries. And it's a global struggle. The issues are basically the same wherever you go. The emancipation of women, women's rights, and allowing women to do what they want to do without discriminating against them. These are the issues. It's a global thing, and the issues are largely the same. Why? Because intrinsically, it's a struggle against the nature of things. Many people don't like to hear this, but the truth is, men are intrinsically different from women. And that's one thing we have to accept, whether we like it or not. So there are three things I'd like to highlight about the feminine struggle or the womanhood struggle. Number one, being a woman is different from being a man, and so there is no basis for comparison. There's no such thing as equality of the genders. Even equity is hard to fight for, because how do you determine what somebody needs above another person? There are too many variables to it. But basically, let me just keep it simple and say that there is no basis for comparison between men and women. In trying to struggle for equal rights and to say that women should be equal to men, and all that, we lose the very argument because of the nature of it. How do you compare lemons, lime, oranges, grapefruit, and tangerines? They are all citrus fruits, but they're different. How many lemons are equal to one lime? And how many lime, or how much lime is equal to one orange? How many grapefruits make one lemon? How many oranges make a grapefruit? There's no way to tell. There's no way to compare. They are different in their very essence, and so there's no basis for comparison. Now, we have to understand that there are two levels to the struggle, to the womanhood struggle, or to the gender struggle. Number one is the social level, where we're fighting, the activism level, where everybody is struggling, and, there's all this shout in the media and everywhere. There's that level of it, but there's also the personal level of it. I love activists. I love what they do. Things change because somebody decides to take on the social fight, or somebody decides to take up the social fight. Things change at a high level because of that. But I'm here for you in particular, I'm here for the person. I'm here to tell you how to take charge of your own circumstances. I'm here to tell the individual woman how she can take charge of her own circumstances, which brings me to the second point. Second point I want to make is that in reality, nobody can take your rights. Look, everybody has struggles. Even men have struggles because society is biased against men in some way. See, it is the nature of human beings to take advantage of whoever they feel they can ride over. So if you are being ridden over, people are trying to take advantage of you, it is because they are just trying. It is you who will determine if they can or if they can't. For as far back as you can remember, from the ancient times, there have been women who have risen and stood up and made names for themselves in every culture. There have been powerful women in every culture. Even when women were being suppressed, even more than we are today, there have been powerful women in every culture, which means that there's the social side to the struggle where everybody is treated in a certain way, but there are those who rise above that struggle and take charge of their lives and become powerful. Those ones achieve anything they want to achieve. They forget about what society is saying and they take charge. So I want to tell you that nobody can take your rights. Nobody can trample over you if you don't let them. If you know who you are, you understand your identity, then you will navigate the circumstances you find yourself and you will achieve what you want to achieve. And that's what I'm about. That is what this channel is really about. Number 3, there are 2 things you need to understand in order to be able to take charge of your life effectively. Number 1 is your identity. Number 2 is your personality. See, when you have a strong understanding of who you are intrinsically, your strengths, your weaknesses, your personality, your identity, where do you draw it from? All those things, you know yourself, you understand yourself, and you understand your environment. See, nobody can stop you from getting what you want to get, and you'll be able to achieve anything, irrespective of gender biases, society biases, this one and that one. Everything that is going around you will be irrelevant when you understand who you are. You will be able to navigate those things and still achieve what you want to achieve. If you learned something from this, tell me in the comments. Look around on my channel, watch the other videos, and don't forget to subscribe. Ciao.